Stay frosty and head over to ezmutt.com for the cheapest mutt coins on the market. And when I say cheapest, I mean it. We're talking 100K for around 13 bucks. Use code DIRECTOR for 5% off. Yo, what up, brothers? It's the Director. Chargers fans, you guys ready for the final 53-man roster reveal? The Chargers put together this little video. We're going to be watching that together. I personally have not seen the final roster yet, although I will say that I do know some of the cuts, man. I've been keeping an eye on that throughout the day. Some of them have been pretty wild. You guys know, too, if you've been following me on Twitter, that the Chargers have parted ways with wide receiver Tyron Johnson, T-Billy, who's been having a fantastic camp and honestly a pretty good preseason as well. And that one certainly becomes the most shocking cut of this season for the Chargers. About to find out and see if there are even more shocking cuts on this roster. But what does a Tyron Johnson mean? We'll get into that in just a moment as well. But what does it also mean for maybe a Josh Palmer? I think it also speaks to his situation a little bit as well. So before we do get started, guys, as a reminder, we do have a giveaway going on right now. This Chargers signed Antonio Gates jersey is up for grabs for all of my subscribers. All you got to do to enter is hit the link in the description, follow the instructions there, and be sure you are subscribed. Only subscribers can win. Dude, this one is awesome. Good luck to everybody who's entering. And finally, yes, we do have one for our crew members as well. Signed LaDainian Tomlinson. I was so stoked I got my hands on this one for you dudes, man. LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the biggest reasons I became a Chargers fan. Now we can pay that forward to one of my lucky crew members. All you got to do to be entered for this one is be a member of my crew. It's a big thanks from me to you guys for continuing to support this channel. We're about to kick off into the regular season. It should be a really good time. Good luck to everybody out there in these giveaways. And with that, let's get into this one. Before we do, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this one. Lights, camera, action. The Chargers' final 53 roster. Dudes, this is going to be absolutely insane. Again, I'm going into this fresh. I know a couple of things myself from the cuts and stuff earlier today, but I don't know what the final roster looks like. The Chargers put together this small video here. We're going to watch it together right now. I'll play some music and stuff in the background with you guys and react live. So you'll see down here, I don't know if you can notice, 11 views. It was just barely posted. I'm about to get my first look at it as well. So let's commentate, and we'll try and react, and then we'll break things down afterwards. Of course, we got Justin Herbert, quarterback 1. Chase Daniel does make the roster, and Easton Stick makes the roster. Lots of Chargers fans will be happy to see that. At running back, we got Austin Eckler is, of course. Justin Jackson, I was pretty sure he'd make the roster. And Joshua Kelly does make the final 53 with Gabe Neighbors at fullback, and of course Larry Roundtree as well, the rookie. All right, so Darius Bradwell is out. Keenan Allen, of course, at the wide receivers now. Jalen Guyton making the roster, and not Tyron Johnson, which is crazy. KJ Hill, the second-year man. Joshua Palmer, of course. We've got Mike Williams, of course. A lot of these guys are big of courses, and that's it. Oh, so crazy to see KJ over that. Stephen Anderson makes the roster. That's awesome for the tight ends. Jared Cook, Trey McKitty, and, of course, Donald Parham Jr. Okay. I think no surprise right there. Offensive line. This one will be pretty big, man. We got Odea Bushi. Where's Trey Pipkins? What I want to know. Brian Bulaga, right tackle out of Iowa. Matt Filer, of course, one of our starters. Brendan Hymas. All right, man. Pronounced Hymas. Corey Lindsley at center. Storm Norton. Okay, so he's going to stay as our depth right tackle guy. Trey Pipkins does stay on the roster. Scott Questenberry, backup center. Then Rashawn Slater, of course, brand new rookie left tackle. Pretty decent. We have to, still a little bit worried about Trey Pipkins. Defensive back, Nasir Adderley. Trevon Campbell makes the roster too. My goodness, dude. Mike Davis, of course, he was a given. Brandon Faison also making the roster as well. Okay. Alohi Gilman. What about the other guy, Ben DeLuca? Kevin Hall makes the roster. One of those guys, the depth guys at cornerback. Of course, Chris Harris Jr. Derwin James, absolutely. Can't wait to see him back in the lineup. Asante Samuel Jr. Mark Webb, of course. These rookies, all of them fantastic. And there's your defensive backs. Interesting. Linebacker, Kenneth Murray. Nick Neiman. What about Amin? Amin Ogbongbemiga. There he is, man. Amin Ogbongbemiga. You know, we get to say that all season long. Drew Tranquil. So undrafted free agent. And then Kazir White. Undrafted free agent. Amin Ogbongbemiga makes a roster. Very exciting stuff. Joey Bosa. Here's our edge players. Kyler Fackrell. Uchenna Nwosu, and then finally Chris Rumpf II. Of course, Egbule and Lemone, both of them absolutely cut this morning. Christian Covington, okay, defensive line, this is a big one too. Justin Jones, Linval Joseph, Forrest Merrill. All right, yeah, a lot of Chargers fans got to see him. Jerry Tillery. What about Brendan Fayoko? Fayoko doesn't make the team. No. Ty Long in special teams. That's our punter. Matt Overton will be our long snapper. Then Tristan Vizcaino is going to be our kicker. I did know that one, actually. I tweeted about it earlier today. Michael Badgley is out. Vizcaino is in. All right, so that was a really exciting 2-minute go through of all the roster right there. I actually did open the Chargers 53 on a separate page here. We're gonna kind of break down what we saw. It was very cool to go through everything really fast, but now I'm really excited to see what we've got going on here. So these are the players that they waived. The Chargers got rid of Michael Badgley, Michael Bandy. Dudes, I was so excited from Bandy right here. John Brandon, cornerback with the most turnovers in this preseason. He got cut. Darius Bradwell, Cortez Broughton. Yeah, so these are the guys, the Fallen Warriors from this the roster. Christensen, DeLuca, Egbule, Fayoko, Gaziano, Gillum, Hunter, Tyron Johnson, which we'll get into in just a second, Campenmoyer, Moore, and Joe Reed. They decided to keep KJ Hill over Joe Reed and Tyron Johnson. That one, I'm honestly scratching my head a little bit at. Tyron Johnson, one of the best guys in camp we saw this offseason. Why did he get cut? I'm honestly thinking about it live with you guys here on the video. That is absolutely insane to me. You know what? Let's talk about it a little bit right now. Tyron Johnson. So here's the 53-man roster. We don't know the depth chart yet, but these are the guys that are on the team. And, let's actually skip down here to... wait, where's all the transfers? Oh, so we got to skip through it by number. That's a little bit annoying. So let's talk a little bit about Tyron Johnson while we have him on the screen here, okay? Tyron Johnson, there has to have been something, right? There had to have been something going on with him behind the scenes that we didn't know about for the Chargers to warrant cutting him. He was starting to really improve in his route running. He was an excellent catcher. I was honestly wondering why he was playing so much through the preseason, throughout, the very end of the game in some weeks. To see him let go, I would say, is the most shocking move by the Chargers this offseason. Now, when we get to number 5 here in a minute, I'll tell you what the repercussions of that are for the rest of this 53-man roster. So, talking a little bit about here, we already knew Ty Long. Actually, let's see if we can get the name on the bottom for you guys there, too. Yeah, that'll help things out a lot. Easton Stick makes the roster. That's super exciting, right? Easton Stick. I think a lot of Chargers fans were hoping to see him there, and then finally he is there as our quarterback 3. I know a lot of people maybe would have disagreed, saying, we should have kept so-and-so or kept this guy on the roster, but we do have Easton Stick back, so breathe, easy tonight. The Chargers do have a competitive backup quarterback if called upon. Joshua Palmer, number 5. Now, this is a big one. This is one that I want to talk to you guys about. Josh Palmer, his role might have elevated this offseason. And I think this is something we kind of touched upon in my last couple of videos. Josh Palmer, let's say wide receiver 3, the position of wide receiver 3. Right now, with Tyron Johnson gone, honestly, I am looking at Joshua Palmer as our wide receiver 3. It could go a couple different ways. Keenan Mike and then maybe Jalen Guyton, who did make the 53. Or it could go Josh Palmer, KJ Hill. Who else do we really have now? I think Josh Palmer, with his performance this preseason, might have vaulted himself into the starting 3. And if not, I think it's going to be maybe a rotation between him and Jalen Guyton, depending on the situation. If the Chargers are looking at 3rd and long, you're probably going to want a Jalen Guyton in there. If you're looking at, a 2nd and short, you want to throw a play action in there, maybe you throw a Jalen Guyton in there. If you're looking to convert on a 3rd and medium, on a 2nd and medium, maybe you got Joshua Palmer in there, okay? So Joshua Palmer, to me, is the chain mover, the man with the route running, the release, the separation. I think he's going to be in the lineup a lot more than this season than we all had believed. And then Tyron Johnson, Jalen Guyton is going to be thrown in there a lot on those go routes, those deep plays, play action, to try and get those big chunk yardage plays. So Josh Palmer, I think that his position has changed for him. His situation on the team has changed for him. A lot of people thinking Tyron Johnson, wide receiver 3, he has been cut. I'm starting to think that Josh Palmer, as a rookie, has impressed enough to become the Chargers wide receiver 3, at least in some facet, okay? That is absolutely shocking to me. Oh, my God. It's been a while since we've done a reaction video like this where I'm like live with you guys getting my takes on here. Chase Daniel makes the team, of course, a mentor to Justin Herbert in the Joe Lombardi system with that New Orleans Saints offense. We know his role with the team. Try not to overthink it. Kenneth Murray, number 9, K9, Kenneth Murray. He's going to be awesome this season. No more needs to be said about him. He's going to be great. I think Brandon Staley's going to really unlock something special with him. Justin Herbert, the man, the myth, the legend. What do I say all the time on Twitter? He is the chosen one. Justin Herbert is going to lead us to a Super Bowl one day, guys. I firmly believe that, man. You are crazy not to believe that the Chargers are going to a Super Bowl with Justin Herbert. And that's all I got to say about number 10. Let's go. Number 13, Keenan Allen, one of the best in the league. So underrated. Jalen Guyton makes the roster over Tyron Johnson. I'm actually like so shocked to see that. So crazy. Ad will close in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, Chargers.com. Tristan Vizcaino. Okay, so we did kind of lightly touch on that. Tristan Vizcaino. So I believed that Michael Badgley would be the Chargers kicker going into the season. I felt like maybe he edged him out. Vizcaino does win out in the job, and for the first time in a while, the Chargers are going to be rocking with a new kicker. Now, of course, Chargers fans may be a little skeptical. The last thing we saw of him was in preseason week 3 versus the Seahawks, and he missed, like a 30-something yard field goal or something like that. Nothing too crazy, right? Maybe, I don't know. What's your confidence level in the kicker right now, chat? Like, what's your confidence level as far as the kicking position goes? Because I think he could be all right. You know, the one thing you can say about Vizcaino is that this dude's got some leg. Like, he's going to be able to kick longer field goals than Michael Badgley on a consistent level, right? But Vizcaino does struggle in the accuracy department, right? Maybe the Chargers maybe still looking for a kicker. Maybe they bring in a couple of guys just kind of, work out with him a little bit. But as of right now, Vizcaino is the man. We can all hope and pray that can work on his accuracy because he's got plenty of distance. He's just got to, get the accuracy down because the Chargers have suffered so much for so long when it comes to one-score games, and having a good kicker could certainly swing things in our favor. All right, next up, Tevon Campbell, right? Number 20. He made some plays, right? Good depth piece for the Chargers defensive back. Justin Jackson makes the roster. This is one that I was pretty confident in. I'm looking at Justin Jackson like the dude's got some crazy good talent. He just can't stay healthy. Well, they decided to keep Joshua Kelly and Larry Roundtree as well. So why not keep Justin Jackson as well? I'm actually kind of shocked that they kept Joshua Kelly. But you know what? The guy's got himself a better offensive line this season. We haven't seen him play with the starters. Maybe Josh Kelly, which we'll get to in a second, would be more efficient on those, third and short sort of situations with the new offensive line. We'll get into that in just a second. But Justin Jackson, glad to see him stay on the team. Nasir Adderley, of course, our starting free safety. He should see a lot of improvement with Derwin James on the field now. Chris Harris Jr., he's going to be our slot. You know what? He's going to be playing a lot of slot. He's going to be playing out deep, maybe a little bit of safety, corner, everything. He's going to be one of those positionless players for the Chargers on defense. Excited to see Brandon Staley utilize him this season. Asante Samuel Jr., the man with the plan, the rookie sensation that's sweeping the nation. Asante Samuel, welcome to the squad. We're so excited to see him this year. Joshua Kelly, okay, like we just said a minute ago, number 27. Again, we haven't seen him run behind our new improved offensive line. The one thing I wanted to mention here, we'll get to Corey Linsley in a second too, but Corey Linsley was one of the best centers in football when it came to converting short yard situations, helping his running back do so, right? So it would make sense that the archetype of Joshua Kelly would work on our offensive line. More on that when we get to Corey Linsley. Brandon Faison makes the team too. Brandon Faison, man, this guy struggled big time in the last preseason game. I hope he cleans it up a little bit, but hey, he's got the measurables. He's tall, he's fast. The Chargers likely have a plan for him. Mark Webb. Is that right? Maybe a typo. Number 29 on the team. He looks like he's got a lot of potential. Definitely a work in progress. Very, very raw. But the Chargers selected him in the 7th round, and I honestly think they're going to get a better investment out of that draft pick too. So excited to see Mark Webb. He's got some work to do, but we'll probably see him grow as the years go on. Austin Eckler. Before we move on from Austin Eckler, if you're in fantasy football, if you're in any way, shape, or form in like a points per reception league, so you get like half a point or a full point per reception, you need to be taking Austin Eckler. That's all I'm going to say, man. He's going to get, I'm guessing, north of 90 receptions this season. How crazy is that? Now let's get into some of this. Okay, all right. Nick Niemann, number 31. This dude led all of the NFL for rookies in the preseason in tackles. I know there's a lot of boxes to check mark there, but still very impressive. Nick Niemann has been awesome. He's definitely been a value pick for the Chargers. He's going to be a great depth piece for that linebacking core, and he's going to be one of those special team standout guys. If he can really, work on his angles and stuff in the return game, I think he's going to be a very reliable special teamer. Cool. Alohi Gilman. I've seen improvement from Alohi Gilman. I talked about it in my last video, so I won't get into it too deep, but Alohi Gilman, welcome back. Derwin James, also huge welcome back. Derwin James, comeback player of the year. Dark Horse defensive player of the year. This man is going to cause some major problems for the opposing offenses come this September. Oh, we're almost there, guys. I'm filming this on the 31st. Tomorrow is football month, baby. Larry Roundtree, standout rookie in the preseason. He looks great. Kamon Hall. Honestly, I thought between him and John Brennan, that Brennan might get the nod. But, Hall looked really, really good, too. We'll see a lot of him. As far as a depth piece, Gabe Neighbors, utility fullback. He's going to get maybe some passes this season, I do imagine, too, but he should be pretty good. Uchenna Nwosu, him and Kyler Fackrell in rotation should look really, really nice. Again, I'm way less worried about the man opposite Joey Bosa because of the combination of Nwosu and Fackrell. Michael Davis, cornerback, what? Cornerback 1, cornerback 2? Kind of depends, right? I feel like labels have been thrown out the door since Brandon Staley entered the team and coaching this team. Kaiser White, oh, man. So I think this man was drafted as a safety, right? Converted to linebacker. So he's got all of those, talents and coverage. And he really showed him off this preseason. Big expectations for Kaiser this season, man. He should be awesome. Drew Tranquil, welcome back. Same can be said about Drew Tranquil, man. Welcome back. Chargers linebackers look so solid right now. All right. Kyler Fackrell, we talked a little bit about him and Uchenna Nwosu opposite Joey Bosa. He should be fantastic. He looked really good in the preseason. Matt Overton, of course, coming in relief of Cole Mazza. That man, he got injured. The Chargers brought in Overton, even though Overton, was around when the pyramids were built. He's old, but still efficient. Not obsolete. What's that reference? Old, but not obsolete. What's that from? In the comment section. I'll give you a heart if you get it. Next up, Amin Ogbongbemiga. The Chargers always hit, right? On an undrafted free agent. Could it be Amin this season? Now, Amin looked really, really good against the run. He honestly looks awesome. Just not so good in coverage. So you have to expect that he's going to be used limitedly, but at the same time, maybe a work in progress. A lot like the Chargers did with Kenneth Murray. Worked on his coverage a little bit. If they can work on his coverage, I think Amin could be a very complete linebacker. Very excited. Scott Questenberry, decent backup center. I would say above decent. He's been really good when called upon. Corey Linsley, the center. All right, we talked about him when we're talking about Joshua Kelly. Again, you guys remember a man by the name of Aaron Jones last season, the past couple of seasons? Aaron Jones scored so many touchdowns it became stupid, right? It became redundant how many touchdowns Aaron Jones was able to score. And I do credit the Packers offensive line for that. More specifically, Corey Linsley, who is now on our squad. So I'm thinking these running backs, Joshua Kelly, maybe Justin Jackson, even an Austin Eckler, and Larry Roundtree. These guys could convert on these short yardage situations a lot easier, find more room to operate because of Corey Linsley. That's something I wanted to throw there in the running game. The passing game, he's obviously one of the best. Top 5 in the league when it comes to pass protection from the center position. Honestly, some people are like, oh, he's not a top center in the league. He is. At least to me right now. Based on last season, he is the best center in the league. And I'm guessing at very minimum, he's going to be top 5 this season at the position. Cannot understate the impact of Corey Linsley for the offense. Brendan Hymus, my goodness, dude. The Chargers, this rookie class is ridiculous. Brendan Hymus, we drafted him to be, a depth kind of guy at guard, tackle if called upon. Holy cow, did he show out in the preseason. He should be great. Him and Ode Ibushi, who's going to be the starter? Who knows? We don't know with the depth chart quite yet. We'll do another video like this for that, but Hymus has done nothing but impress for me this offseason. All right. Number 35. What are we looking at? That should be Larry Roundtree, right? 35. Did we already go through him? I don't know. Let's keep going. Here we go. 36, Rashawn Slater. right? Number 70. Oh, okay, so not going by number. All right, I'm just being an idiot right here. All right, here comes the ad. All right, so that should be Larry Roundtree, who we know is awesome. Okay. Rashawn Slater, left tackle. This guy is going to be the anchor for our line for a long time. You know, think of the Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday kind of combo, right? I feel like they're going to be awesome. And he's been so good when we've seen him on the field. Matt Filer, very, very good left guard. Also a backup right tackle. Guys, remember that. If something happens to Brian Bulaga, Matt Filer will likely be our right tackle. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then insert at guard Brendan Hymus. The Chargers have a plan. Storm Norton, backup right tackle. Still a little bit worried about that. Brian Bulaga, starting right tackle. He needs to stay healthy. Cross your fingers, prayer circles, whatever we got to do. Please stay healthy, Brian Bulaga, because when he's on the field, he's really good. He just struggles to stay healthy, right? Odeyabushi, he's been pretty decent, right? I think we got what we bought out of him, right? We got what we signed him for. He's been pretty decent. Definitely above what we got in Trey Turner last season. All right? Not too bad. Trey Pipkins, I'm going to skip that one. Mike Williams, if again, a lot of these guys, if they can stay healthy, big impact players. Mike Williams, one more thing I'll add before we leave. The coaching staff has stated, Joe Lombardi has stated that he's going to be playing the X receiver role, obviously, right? And that is where Michael Thomas has been featured in this offense or in the New Orleans offense in the past. So if there is going to be a breakout season, a season where the Chargers say, hey, we need to re-sign Mike Williams, it's going to be this year. Does it happen? A lot of it hinders on his health. Does it happen as far as performance? We'll have to wait and see. I think he's got the talent, but we have to wait and see. He's going to have the opportunity this season, I have to imagine, though. Okay? Stephen Anderson. Maybe another misspell. So happy he made the roster. I would have been really disappointed if we let him go. Every time he's called upon, he's looked really solid. KJ Hill. This is one, again, where I'm maybe scratching my head a little bit, right? KJ Hill, he has potential, right? He made the roster for a reason. This coaching staff is high on him for a reason, but if I had to choose, if you guys, gun to my head like an hour ago said, hey, KJ Hill or Tyron Johnson, go. I would have been Tyron Johnson 10 out of 10 times. So what they see in KJ Hill, I don't know, but he's going to be our depth guy. Maybe they're looking for him to, work a little bit in the return game, special teams, but that one's definitely a head scratcher to me. Jared Cook, tight end. Don't sleep on Jared Cook. I think he's going to be the makings of greatness this year. Especially when it comes to red zone opportunities. He should be awesome. Trey McKitty, we saw a little sample size of him. He's going to be a work in progress, too. Donald Parham. Oh, honestly, out of the three tight ends, I hope to see a lot of targets to Donald Parham because the dude's 6'8". He's fast for his size, and he's been nothing but super efficient when he gets targets. So hope to see more of him. Justin Jones, of course, defensive tackle. I should say more defensive tackle / defensive end in a 3-4. He's going to be really great. Chris Rumpf was so good in the preseason as well. Christian Covington, great signing, underrated, underlying signing for the Chargers. We see a couple of those every single year. Joey Bosa, of course, the face of the franchise on defense. He's going to be fantastic. Joey Bosa is going to get so many more opportunities to rush the quarterback this season, man. Not just rush the quarterback, but I mean opportunities where he's not getting double or triple teamed. The potential of Joey Bosa should be unleashed this season, which is so exciting. Linval Joseph. Oh, when you're talking about underrated players in the Chargers defensive line, Linval Joseph is among the top, right? What he does versus the run game is so important. So again, one of those players that we have to hope stays healthy this season. He was good last season, but if he stays healthy, the Chargers in this new formation, he is going to shine. Mark my words there. He's going to shine. Last player here, Jerry Tillery. And Jerry Tillery, as I'm hearing, word on the street is that he looks really good, dudes. Of course, he's going to be playing interior defensive line, defensive end, pass rusher, whatever you want to say. And he's been looking really good in camp. And honestly, he's, again, one of those players that potential could be unlocked with Brandon Staley. Longer video today. But, man, I miss doing these, live reaction. We're taking a look at the entire roster together, and I get to put my reaction in. It gets a more authentic, excitement out of me in these videos. So I'm so excited. I think we'll do the same thing again when we get the depth chart. Maybe it would be a little bit more of the same, but the importance of where these players are listed on the depth chart is going to be huge. There's big ones out there, man. Can you guys maybe list one in the comment section? My biggest one's definitely Josh Palmer. Where are they putting Josh Palmer? Tyron Johnson being cut throws a wrench in my plans for what the Chargers were doing at wide receiver. I wouldn't be shocked to see him at wide receiver 3. Have to wait and see, okay? Well, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time. And as always, bolt up and stay frosty.